Then he starts treating people. Then he passes negativity more. And it starts appearing to be something good. You see. Sometimes he also feels that he's acquired more power because the spirits are very cunning and they establish that kind of an atmosphere. So one has to be careful. You see, there's a regular warfare going on. And that's why we have to just keep our spirits all right. And cowardice has no place in this world. The whole thing will work out very well if people are identified with the truth. But truth, as you know, is very difficult to be identified. Very difficult for human beings. Absolutely next to impossible. If you tell them to be idiots, they will accept. If you tell them to be stupid, they will accept. Any sort of a thing that makes them look absolutely donkeys, they will do it. If you tell them to be false, they will do it. If you create any atmosphere of falsehood, they will accept. But the truth, very difficult. Very difficult. Even you will know that some people they see my photograph, and they give the cool kiss. But then when they see me fully, they cannot. Because when they see the photograph, there's a lot of darkness still there. So they believe into me because of that part of that is darkness, because I'm just a photograph. But as soon as they see me, they just don't want to accept it. We had a very nice case in Delhi. I asked God to go and speak to the girls of Delhi University. Being a young person and handsome and all that, we were all very much impressed. And with that thing that when he was saying that there's somebody like that, they were feeling the vibrations all that. But when they came to me, they never felt any vibration. Just like from Gregor, they were feeling a lot from me. But then they recovered from it, and now they are much better off. But this was the case. So, because of this, you see, the people who represent darkness and falsehood are more successful. The spiritualists are much more successful than a saint.
They don't ask any. They never asked any money when I was there. I never had to pay any money.
This can be also because they do not know. They are well intentioned. I think they have got power. They assume it. And by that they have a satisfaction to say that we are doing good to others. But they do not know the know-how. You see? That is the point. Because here the people are not that cunning as we have in India. If they know that they are doing harm, they would not do it. But we have very cunning people in our country. Even if they know they are doing harm, still they'll do it if they can get some money out of it. So they haven't got any conscience about it. So here, if the people feel that they have done good to someone, then they start doing it, thinking they have powers. They start. Because sometimes also they get a vision, sometimes they get a feeling. All these things can be there due to the spirits coming in. In India, it's a very common experience of many people. They worship a deity all the time. And suddenly they find the garland that they put into the neck of the deity gets up from there and comes into their own necks. Then they think, now God has accepted us as great spirits. This is their idea. Now it is nothing but some dissatisfied soul, you see, puts it on them. And they start believing into it, that it is God who has done it. Then they will start a big place and will announce to everyone that I am a saint and this will happen, that. And people are also impressed, you see, with this kind of feat. And they would again ask this thing to happen. There are people who start getting this red kumku from their hands, it's flowing. So people believe into it. They think that, yes, must be something great, otherwise how can this red powder flowing from their hand? Or sometimes ashes start flowing. And we have got, say, in Bombay we have a temple. We have a temple of Mahalakshmi, and they think that Mahalakshmi temple is a place where the goddess resides. No doubt, there is a very genuine temple. I would say not temple, but even the statue is absolutely genuine. But the people who are there are so foreign. that they get hold of some maid servants, you see. And then spirits comes into them. They start doing like that. And this is called as Ghagri Kirni. It means there's a big pot you get for water. And in that water, they go on saying inside the waters. And they get those spirits into them. And then they go on like that. All the people go on like that. All these maid servants. And then these people come and ask them questions like, what is the horse we are doing? Where is my brother? All this. And they answer. Then they believe into it. So they get some money. But these women are horrible women in their own lives. And they are always sick and they are very unhappy. But they believe into it. They believe into all these things and they do it. And while doing it, they don't know that they are doing anything wrong, but they get sick and they are very, very unhappy. And ultimately they die a very bad death. There was one like that in Pune, whom they called as Mamaji, his uncle. And he was very, very famous man in Pune. Even the police used to use that man for doing the spirits job. But they knew that these were spirits and these are not gods. Only these women, the way they do it, they think it is the goddess that has come into that. Now goddess should have some sense to come into these horrible women, isn't it? But people don't think about it, so they believe into it. But this man, this gentleman who was in Pune, because I was staying with the police commissioner there, police commissioner called him. And so he came and he told me, Mother, I really wanted to meet you for one reason, that I'm now fed up of these spirits that I've used. And if you could get rid of them, I'll be very happy. Because now I'm being tortured by them. And I know what sort of a death I'm going to have. They're going to eat my flesh one by one. And I'm going to die much earlier before my death, the way they will torture my life. So all this, you see, he was frightened about, because he had seen other also people who did this kind of work, tantrikas, suffering. So he was very much frightened. So I said, all right, then you ask for the parama, in the highest. You ask for that superior thing, superior most. He said, all right, I asked for it. I said, all right, say thrice that you ask for it. He said, yes, give me that, Mother, give me that. I said, all right, I give you. And he got the realization. Got the vibrations about all that. I said, now you have lost all these horrible goods and their powers, and now you'll have your own powers coming in. And they will act, these your own powers will act, which you can be able to maneuver and help others. He could not believe me. He thought that whatever he had for 25 years, how can he get rid of them just like this? So he went to the police commissioner and told him that, oh, Mataji is telling me like this. I don't believe it. I can always call those spirits. The police used to use him, you see, for detecting crimes and things. So he said, all right, if you think so, why not call one of the spirits? Say your mantra. He started saying mantras, nobody would come. He tried for half an hour, nobody would come. He said, do you mean to say I've lost all that? He said, yes. He said, now thank your stars, now you'll have a better death at least. That's how it works. But even in Sahaja Yoga, I will be surprised in the beginning of Sahaja Yoga. Right here. Even in the beginning of Sahaja Yoga, इनको ऐसा कहना कि लेफ्ट हैंड हमारे ओर करके राइट हैंड बाहर करके let him, Reggie, tell him how to sit with his left hand towards me, right hand outside. This gentleman. No, near the door. He's a great believer in goddess. He's Devi Bhakti. So, it so happened that I went to America. Before going to America, I told this lady that you are all right, but Guru has been doing all these tricks of spirits. So you will get those spirits into you and it will try to entice you. Because they don't want to give up their people. They have no freedom. And when they try to get out, they just try to again entice you. So she told me, no, you just don't worry about me, Mother, I'll keep myself all right. Then, in her own house, she started center. She put up my big photograph, and people would come to her, and she started first giving them Sahaja Yoga and this and that. And then suddenly she started feeling something falling from her hands, and there were some rice, the rice which is being reddened by kunku, we call it as akshara. And she was so surprised at it that it has started falling from it. And gradually, everybody was surprised, and they said lots of people started coming to her. Then they started asking her questions, like, where is my brother, where is my father, what is the horse, this, that. And she started answering that, horse is going to win this race. And they won the thing. One fellow had put a lot of money somewhere and he had forgotten about it in a big house. So she told also where is the money. So they were all very much impressed, because they are very materialistic people. They are only interested in what money we are going to get or what health problems they have. They are not interested in self-realization. Very, I should say, low-graded people there. So they were just worried about this, not worried about self-realization. And all such people started coming to her who were not interested in self-realization but in all these things. And she became very popular. She became so popular that there were sometimes used to be 3,000 people. And she had to take a hall and this and that. And I came to know about it somehow within myself. And I immediately sent a telegram saying that please stop all that nonsense and please don't do all this. And she could not believe me. Then when I went to India about a month later, she had not yet stopped. And by that time, what had happened? She said, no, Mataji came to me and she told me that carry on. I saw her standing before me. She said so and all that. In that short time that I was there, 1 month or so I was not there, she started using a big whip and a big stick to hit people, to take out their devils, she said. And she used to hit them back very badly on their backs. And it was so horrible that some people broke their backs and all sorts of things happened. And she was using a stick. And sometimes a very flexible one, so that they would get marks on their body. By the time I reached, she came to see me. And some of the Sahaja Yogis joined hands with her. It was so silly that I just could not understand how these people also joined hands with her. And then she came to me, she said, I have started a very big organization in your name, Mother, you must come, you must come. So I told the Sahaja Yogis, none of you need come, I'll go myself. So I went down. She came and she opened the door of my thing, she washed my feet and lots of water she brought, and then she washed my feet with milk and all sorts of things. I was just feeling very embarrassed, for the whole thing. I didn't know what to do. I went up to the room and she made me sit down there and all these people were singing my praying. I was very embarrassed. Everywhere I could see all these these spirits sitting down there, and mocking at me. I said, Chantal, you are going to eat for a great laughter. And I didn't know what to do and how to tell them that. And then they all started saying, oh. I said, had it now here. I said, all right, I'm going back. She said, we'll do your puja. I said, no, I'm not well, I'm going back home, you come and see me. She was very happy. Next day she came, she thought I'm going to say, oh, well, brave, oh, you have done very well. So when she came and sat next to me, I said, now, see, she said, Mother, see how many powers you have given me. I'm so powerful. I said, really? I must say, you have some powers, isn't it? She said, yeah. I said, all right, will you tell this gentleman about him? So she started telling him that you were born in such a place and you have a house like this. He said, not me. It's not me. I'll tell you about somebody else. So there was a lady sitting. She said, you are a person who has got a clerk in your business who's like this, whose name is this. She said, I don't have a business, I don't have a clerk. She said, Mother, have you taken away all my powers? I said, if they were your powers, I would have respected you and loved you. But these were somebody else's powers. As soon as you entered into my house, they have left you completely. And now you go back, you can get them back again. Unless and until you say that I want the eternal and eternal. And after this, you have to be very, very particular and watch yourself, your attention, whether you are accepting these negativities or not. She said, yes, I want eternal and eternal. she was all right. She went back home and she was all right for about 15 days. But you see, popularity of that kind is very difficult to avoid the temptations. You see, that's why it is said, lead us not into temptation. With that same thing, but deliver us from evil. For the same reason, because evil is standing every corner you walk. Now she fell into this. And when she fell into this, she started another organization of her own, and she started this and that, and she's so practical. Nowadays, for your information, she's a very serious patient in the lunatic asylum. So, human beings are like that. They take to such things. I mean, that time, only about 150 or 200 people used to come and meet me, while she was getting 3,000. People want darkness, they want falsehood, they want that somebody should hoodwink them, they want somebody should befool them, they want to live with the befooling, you see. And those who know this and know how to handle it, they'll just keep you on the run, you see, they will keep you on the run all the time. That will be befooled from this place to that place and that place to that. Now there can be people who are extremely simple-hearted, but the simplicity goes to this limit that they cannot recognize the reality. You have to be in the center. Otherwise, you can become a simpleton. And that simpletonness can really be very killing. But if the person is a very intelligent, relies on your intelligence, then they will play on you. They'll pump up your ego. They'll do this and do that, and somehow or other they'll get you there because they are extremely cunning people. They are the embodiment of cunningness. So you cannot outwit them. Because whatever intelligence you have is limited. While they have such a lot of intelligence of such a crooked nature that you cannot go to their level. After all, you have your conscience. So they have no conscience, so they play about so much that they really hoodwink you and you do not know about it. And that's how you will find that all the incarnations who came on this earth were killed, crucified, poisoned, like Muhammad Sahib was poisoned, or harassed, or sent to forests like Rama and Krishna, tortured by many Rakshasas who went to kill him, all sorts of things. I mean, there is no incarnation who has not suffered. So that now people think that if you do not suffer, you cannot go to God. See, this is another madness people have, that you must suffer to go to God. So they are all carrying the cross. It was for Christ to carry the cross, not for you people. So there is no need for you to be that miserable and take the sufferings upon us. There is no need at all to suffer. There is no need at all to unnecessarily torture your bodies, unnecessarily torture your being to such a limit that you are absolutely useless for the day when you are going to be crowned. Come here, come here. Let him have a chair. So, this is what I tell you, that falsehood is easily acceptable to people. People accept falsehood with such gusto and with such force, and they do not even see what is happening. They just rush to it because we have lived with it. First of all, we have lived with matter. We are identified with it because we have lived. Because we do not know what is the truth. We have lived with untruth. We have lived with dreams. We have not lived with awakened state. We are not yet identified with that awakened state. That's why you are awakened, again you go out to sleep. Again you are awakened, again you go out to sleep. You are more identified with sleep than with awakened state. That's why it happens all the time. Sometimes people say, Mother, Sahaja Yoga also, when we get realization, again we go down. But what can we do? It's not the responsibility of Sahaja Yoga that it should just shoot you off to that place. It is also your responsibility in a way that if you have had problems within you, and there are pouches and ditches where you are physically hurt, mentally hurt, everybody hurt. So then what happens? That power which has really touched on top goes back and tries to establish. It happens like that. So nothing to feel bad, it will again come up. It has to make your instrument alright, because your instrument has gone into horrible things. Especially very funny habits one develops by these by these horrible devil's communities. Even a person, if he drinks too much, then no, then he's possessed. If a person, he talks very much, or he jabbers, or he's harsh, then no, he's possessed. All the time, if he has a habit to snap at someone, shout at someone, or stick at someone, then no, he's a possessed man. Or if he has a habit to be quiet, unnecessarily, if he tries to be quiet all the time, then know that he's possessed. Any extreme behavior is only caused by spirits. Actually, what happens that when we go to the extremes, our human awareness cannot bear. Then what happens that we just ask for help from outside, and there are many busybodies around. They just enter into you and start managing. There is no need to strain your being so much. Go to extremes. You have to be just in the center. Actually, this country or any of the Western countries, I thought would have been very good for you because you are saints, and that you would have lived with a very temperate life. There was not such problems as we had in India or in any other developing countries. I thought you would be much better off here. But on the contrary, what I find, the material life that provided everything for you made a slave out of you. You may even have habits of matter. Now, when you have habits of matters, there are some other habits can be put into you. And the habits that are put into you by this, just keep your eyes on it.
It's very bad. It's very bad.
Very bad?
Yeah.
All right, you put your left hand, you can stand there. Put your left hand inside. He is from the same course as you have been, and he has been jumping all the time for it. You can go there in the door where Hester is. And he has really hurt himself. All of them are hurt in their bones, all of them. Any man who has left no sense of we can say the dharma or of his balances is a man who is possessed. Anyone who is doing a crime which he does not understand is also possessed. Or a human being, say a man having relation with a man, is possessed condition. If a woman has relations with a woman, it is a possessed condition. It is not a condition of a normal person, and human beings have to be normal human beings. If a woman, if she doesn't care for her chastity and she leads a fast life, that means she is possessed. If she goes about with many men, that means she is possessed. If the men do that, they are also possessed. They cannot be normal people who do all this. You see, whatever are the sustenance of human beings are also the powers of human beings. Like that, we can see the people who are in the center, the people who are sustained. They do not have all this temptation. I mean, they just don't like it. They are just normal people. And that is what one loses gradually by doing extreme things. And you don't even realize. The whole society could be like that possessed with ideas. You can see what foolish things we are doing in this country. I know in India they do all sorts of nonsensical things, but like telling lies and cheating people, fraud and all that is very common in India. But here the other things are there, like the way we are wasting our energy in nonsensical things about sex and about flirting and all this nonsense. Flirting is nothing but a virus infection of sex. You see, your eyes are caught up. Really, it is the infection of the eyes, and it comes into the eyes. You see, then you start looking here and there. You don't know what you are looking. Flirting, if you ask them, they have no joy. You just see round. They see one place to another, one woman to another. Then the woman catches it. The woman gets it. You are just looking like this. You don't know why. It's such a waste of energy. Actually, I didn't know what was flirting. But once when I went to America in 73, a young boy came to me and he said, "Mother, why do I look at all these women? I waste such a lot of energy. Why can't I keep straight? What is the need to look at them? They do not mean anything to me." Any woman passing, then the woman also would dress up in such a way that she would attract others. So that, you see, this is also another kind of fraternity working. And the whole game starts. You find even in places where people are above 60 years, they do the same nonsense. Something surprising that even they are not mature, because if you get this poison into you, then you do not mature. It's like any fruit, see, which is infected, cannot mature. It's an infection. When it comes into you, you do not mature. That's why you find even 80-year-old people behaving just like silly young 25-year-old. You see, that sort of people you find so common here. You feel so ashamed and embarrassed when an 80-year-old woman starts telling you about her love affairs and you just don't know where to do it. And it's very common, they boast of it. And they talk like that. Their talking is so funny that you can't imagine. It's most embarrassing, the way they talk about things and the way they live. There was a lady who told me, she is a lady of a good family and an ambassador's wife. And she told me there's a very great writer here. She is about 80 years of age. She writes lots of books on philosophy. So she invited this lady, the ambassador's wife, for a lunch party. And she said, why lunch? I could come for dinner with my husband. She said, no, I want you for lunch and give you a nice time. I'll get you a boyfriend. She said, are you joking? She said, no, I have one. I hope. About 24 years. What age do you want? She was shocked. She said, what? I don't want all that. She said, you must know, you see, you women are no good, Eastern women are no good. You must learn how to enjoy life. She said, I'm sorry, I'm not free on that. And she just put on. Now, this lady is writing books on philosophy. See the stupidity to which people appeal. And she is one of the most successful writers in English. I don't know her name, she didn't tell me the name. But this is what it is. She's successful because she's spreading darkness. Because, people want to live with whatever they were. They were in darkness, they were just matter. See, this dead matter is just darkness. It has no awareness in it. Then the animals have a little bit of awareness. And they come to a point when they are human beings. They have passed through millions of years with that ignorance and that darkness. And they more adhere to it than to something that is beyond. They only evolve because God's grace is there. Otherwise they would never have evolved. Because God has put some sort of a seeking in their stomach, that for food, for other things, they start evolving. And when they start evolving, they reach a state of human consciousness. Now, at human consciousness, if I have to say that you have to face a reality, why should you? You think that if I have to face reality, then I have to work for it. Because that is another thing you have done so far. You think that you have done something all the time to achieve something. If you have to achieve something, then you must put in effort. Then you do not want to take that path when you were down. That we have done nothing to become human beings. And that if you have to go further, we are not to do anything about it. On the contrary, you start running fast, very fast. And if you know the phrase, that you take 2 running jumps and go to hell. It's like that it works out. And you speed up so much on that you land into difficulty. That's why it is necessary to understand that you are human beings. At this time you have given freedom, absolute freedom, because you have to see your own evolution. Because you are free, you can see it. If you are part and parcel of God, and if He had done for you, then you would not have seen it like animals have not seen. But this you have to see, and you have to be aware of it. That's why you have been given freedom. If you are not away from me, how will you see me? And this is the reason you are separated from the whole, so that you can see that you become the whole. While the animals do not see it because they are dark. They are part of the whole, they are looked after, they live like that. They don't get ego, they don't go super ego, they do not speed up suddenly, they do not do all these things as you do. They do not have insurances. They are sensible, we think. So we go down to them and want to learn something from them. And what do we learn from them? their sex behavior. Imagine, this is human brain, specially made. We are clowns. The way we look at things, I don't know how, whatever is to be done, you just do in the other way round. Right. Like what you have to learn from animals, that they are one with the whole, the trees are one with the whole. When there is spring, the trees will bring out yellow flowers. When there is summer, they'll bring out the red flowers, and that's how they express the colors. While they are looked after, whether they are here or anywhere, they are looked after. The nature looks after them. There's a circle between them. If the trees have the leaves, they emit carbon dioxide, then that has to have a circle again. So the leaves have to fall down into the ground, because nature must take nitrogen from them and must replace it back to them to nourish them again, so they can go into that cycle of movement, and from how it moves from one end to another, how carbon dioxide goes into the air and how it is again reconverted back, and how the whole thing is worked out in a cycle is done. But they do not know all about it. They do it blindly, absolutely blindly. They are doing it because they are blind, because they don't need. Like the small little babies and puppies of the dog, if you see, they are blind. They don't know how to go about. They just feel their mother and just go and start sucking the breast and take feeding. You have seen the very sweet ones, you see. They can't see anything, they just smell something, they go down there and do it. So the mother looks after them at that time, and she does everything that is needed, even when they are blind. When you are also little children, when this is not covered up close, your mother looks after you, your father, they look after you. They treat you just like a part of them all the time. All the time they are worried about you. Not in modern times, of course. Modern times are one of the most convoluted ones. But they used to do that. But you are grown up, then they give you freedom to know that you are grown up. And that is how God wants you to know that you have evolved, you have received your realization, that you have become what you have to be. Because you have to now re-emit, re-manifest God's powers. This is the thing we have to understand, and then we should know what is our role in life and what are we doing, where are we, how are we placed, what is our position. This should give you the complete energy to get to yourself and work it out. May God bless.